All right, we are live here with Winning Nation. Guys, this is something we're going to be doing new. We want to broadcast mine and my co host Callie's show, Winning Nation. At the end of this, you can go in and we'll put a link in the comments to the podcast so you guys can catch up on all of them. Callie, welcome.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Doing well, doing well. So, what we want to go over today is this is going to be a very challenging environment moving forward, both for business owners and your everyday person. And one of the things that you guys can do to really win consistently at a high level is building relationships. So, we're going to talk about building relationships individually and as an entrepreneur. So, Callie, give us some of your thoughts on that.
Well, in one of the groups, I've been talking about networking because I'm really like made this super simple for people because I'm known for teaching people how to build strategic partnerships, brand partnerships, joint ventures, that type of thing. Because that's how firmly I believe in this. This is how I make my sales. This is how I've grown an e-commerce brand. This is how I've grown my product company, which we were just talking about. It's not exactly in the most simple everyday. You couldn't run Facebook ads for my business. It wouldn't make sense, right? Um, but by focusing on building relationships, I can be exactly where my customers are. I can be everywhere my customers are. So like a comment that I'll receive even for people in our groups, they're like, how come I go here, you're there? How can I go here, you're there? And it's not because I'm everywhere. Just because I have
You're in the right spot.
I'm in the right spot. And
Yeah.
usually it's because like we're doing a show together, or I'm doing a show or contributing to a different community or this community or that community. So
Yeah.
relationships put you a lot of places, and that's a simple way of looking at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also makes the whole how you can help people a lot easier, right? So if you are the guy, like, some people would say I am the business financing guy or the guy that's going to help your business grow. When you're known as that, you're already starting at a place of, hey, they trust you, they're coming to you. It's an easier way to get your foot in the door. And I think what I want to break down for people is how do you do that? How do you create that for yourself and for your business? And then at the end, we'll talk about the individual, right? But for now, you have to think about this. Who is helping the same clients that you want to get in front of? How are they helping them? How can you add value to that? And can these people add value to your clients, right? Because you want to look for a win for you, a win for the partner or the relationship, and ultimately a bigger win for your clients. So I'll give you guys an example from me, right? Credit repair companies. Credit repair companies have businesses that go there, and they have people that go there that don't own a business, and those people might be paying all their bills, but their credit score is low because they're over leveraged, right? They have way too much credit card debt. So we get them a term loan, they pay it all off, their credit score shoots up. Credit repair company looks like a hero, we look like a hero, and the client gets their problem solved. Same thing with somebody that, let's say, someone that sells equipment, right? If someone's selling equipment, and one of the biggest objections they always hear is, hey, you know, my clients are saying they can't afford it, they don't have the cash. Well, I can finance that piece of equipment, right? If you take a different industry, right? Let's talk about maybe auto repair. All right. Well, auto repair. Maybe you go out and you make connections with people that run a car wash. Or maybe, obviously, you're not going to go to a branded dealership, but sometimes you have these other dealerships that are just, mom and pop, like a used car dealership. They're just a reseller. Maybe you can go there, offer them a discount, offer their clients a discount. Now you're getting more clients in the door. It doesn't cost you a dime. And it's an easier and more trusted way to get business in, right? So that I think is going to be key. If you own a business, you have to be in that mindset of how can I find that win-win-win? Callie, what do you think on that? And give us some, examples and how you get your foot in the door when you're doing this or you're consulting to do this for people?
Yeah. So I call this ecosystem sales. And what we do is we look at what is the goal of that customer. So what are they trying to do? What are they trying to feel? Like what is the thing that they're trying to achieve in their life? So to use your car wash example, a linear way of thinking is, oh, this person's trying to get a clean car. In reality, if that was the case, everybody would drive a white 1996 Honda Civic, the greatest car ever made, lasts forever, right? That's not what people are trying to do. They're trying to look a certain way, feel a certain way, and achieve a certain thing. So when you realize that we're in the business of selling happiness, we're in the business of selling belonging, which comes and gives us happiness. If we understand that that vehicle is literally just a vehicle to have that emotion, that sentiment in somebody's life, we can look at it and say, well, what are all the other peripheral things that are helping somebody achieve that? You've got a gym. So can somebody just buy a membership and then become strong, become lightweight, lose weight? Can they achieve whatever their goals are because they buy a gym membership? The answer is no, right? They might need a trainer. They might need a dietitian. They might need a mobility specialist. They might need supplements. They might need motivation. They might need mindset issues. They might need meditation issues. They might need all of these things that form this big, crazy, like interstellar system, right? Think of this interconnected system or network of solutions. Now, none of those things are competing with you, but they're all contributing to your customer. So if you can map this out, if you can map out the journey of success, and what this requires is for you to approach your business with less ego and more empathy. So you have to understand who your customer is, what they want to achieve, and not so much what you're doing. Where's your place in the world? Where can you be the best? And how do you contribute to that goal? Who else is doing it? Then it's very clear to go to you and say, hey, Jonathan, I've got a gym, but you have this amazing training program. How about we start doing training events at the gym? You can keep all the money. I just want to bring new people into the gym. I'm sure you have clients, and we can figure out how does that work for both of us, right? So maybe they're training at some place that's not as great. Maybe you have training privileges or you're looking for a place to have training privileges. Well, that's great. Let's figure out how we can create a training program. Let's integrate that with our nutrition program. Let's connect you with these other people. We do a revenue share. We also do referral and affiliate sales. So for people that come in, you get continuous income. And of course, we do a split on retail on supplements. Everybody does that, right? You get supplement sales right now, and you're like, hell no, I don't have any of that. That sounds amazing. So boom, now you have a world-class training program by some famous person that's already successful on the internet. Your gym's more successful. Great. But like, when I tell people about this stuff, they're like, why would they do that for me? Like, yeah. And it's because they're thinking about the car wash. They're thinking like, I have a superior sponge to the guy down the street. But like, my brush is better. I'm like, man, that's so lame. That's so lame. Like, you are missing a massive opportunity that you can only achieve when you get over yourself and you realize that it's about somebody else.
Absolutely.
When you think of that, then you're like, oh, I could connect with this person. I could connect with this person. We could do this special event. We could release this program. We could share these kind of customers. We could combine and do a joint venture. Oh, we should storm a new business or a holding company. Like, it goes from these like little things to as big as you want. And that's partnership.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, you got to remove the ego, and it can't be all about you and your business. It's one, how can we make and add more value to our combined client, right? And two, how can we help each other? You know, I'll give you an example, and this is a personal example. We are launching a new PFIT gym in Oldsmar, okay? Oldsmar, it's a bigger location. There's a restaurant nearby. There's a daycare center nearby. And they're just opened this giant health food store. Well, guess what? A big part of what we do besides workouts is nutrition. We want to have people live healthier lives. Every single one of those businesses is someone we spoke with and set something up where we make a nice little ecosystem where one, our clients may get discounts, and two, we're all serving more clients because the people that walk into the daycare want to know about, hey, where can I, work out? The people that go into the health food store, right? They're already eating healthy. Where can they go to get exercise? And then vice versa for us. They're working out with us. Well, they might need a place to drop their kids off to watch them while they work out. And they need a place where they can buy healthy foods. So we send them over to the health food store. And what it does is it creates a win for everybody. And that is super important. And let's think about like groups and networking, right? We met in Arate. I can't tell you how many people I've met in Arate or Apex that are lifelong friends that, hey, if I need something, I call, hey, I called you on Tuesday, Callie. What's the approach here? These are your people. How do I speak with them, right? I was at a conference for manufacturing. I called you up. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? You've done the same thing with clients you have. Hey, my client has this issue, right? It's building that relationship to help and got to be a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, man. This is next level. But what frustrates me about this is when you look at successful businesses, somebody that's more than just a couple $1 million or been around for a couple of years, it's 100% of those businesses do this, what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's some exceptions. So somebody is going to, comment below and be like, hey, here's an exception where this guy's just sitting like in a bunker somewhere. He's got a $3 million business. He never talks to anybody and But that's great.
Yeah.
It's newsworthy because it's rare. Any 8-figure business that I've ever worked with, they do this because they collaborate with partners. They have a distribution network. They have contractors. They have consultants. They have adjacent businesses. They do brand partnerships. They leverage really great vendors into partners and suppliers versus like just buying dumb stuff from people that barely care. Like we see this behavior over and over again. But then when I talk to entrepreneurs, people that want to launch an e-commerce business, people that want to grow a product brand, people that want to just, like you're saying, people just want to start a business and say, hey, go talk to Jonathan about getting money. It never occurred to them that they should work like for their client, for their customer, inside of a network that they should be building. That like you say systems, processes, like that creates stable, scalable businesses. But for me, rapid scale has a third piece, which is partnerships.
Yep.
And nobody talks about it in any of these entrepreneur groups, even though you can see like Dan Fleischman and a couple of other people that we know, like he only does this. Yep. Nobody really talks about it and teaches it because they don't do it. And it's really interesting to me because what you're talking about is that it is the access to the $1 million single deals, the multi-million-dollar growth, like 1 year, I want to make $8 million 1 year extra. It's like, how do you do that? Do you build massive infrastructure or do you build a massive network? Yep. Which thing is going to be a bigger lever over for the long term? Which thing is going to be a bigger lever in the short term? And it's like it always comes down to this partnership.
And what's easier to repeat, right? When you have that network, you always have that network. When you have those relationships, as long as you honor those relationships, they're always there for you. Let's take it to the personal side of things, right? I can't tell you how many really good investment deals I've been able to get into because I have the right people in my circle, right? I got to invest in a quick food service business, right? The franchise, like the head franchise. How? Because 2 of my friends did it. They told me about it. I was able to get in on that, right? I've probably made about 5 or 6 pretty big investments in the last 3 years that all developed because of my relationships and my network. Same thing for, with you. That's how I opened these gyms in the first place. I never would have opened a gym. I opened gyms because I built a relationship through and they became friends of mine in this group. And I think people discount the value of relationships, but when you actually come to the table, add as much value as you can, other doors open for you. So when we're in this time of uncertainty, right? Yeah, let's say the average person is working somewhere and they don't love it. Well, who are your friends that are working elsewhere where there may be an opportunity for you to maybe leave something that is not fulfilling or not paying you what you're worth and go somewhere else? But that doesn't happen without building that network and having quality relationships within that network. And it has to be the right people.
Yeah, you're also building a skill set that you have to have, right? Life is a group project, business is a group project. People don't want to do this because they went through school and they're traumatized by like the kid that didn't help on the history paper, and they think like I'm going to do it all myself. You know what I'm saying? And then I tell them like, well, it's tough. That's how businesses work, right? You can go be a consultant if you want, but like if you want to be an awesome consultant, like you're going to have partners and you're going to work with partners. If you want to be a kind of crappy coach, like you can be a lone wolf, right? If you want to be amazing at that, you're going to need partners. If you want to actually serve people, you're going to need partners. So we have to go through this kind of getting over ourselves situation. But look, what Jonathan's saying is so powerful. And as you go out and look for these things, maybe you'll find an opportunity that you can work into. And I'm going to tell you your first mistake that you're going to make already is that. So I'm predicting the future here. You can call me, Madam Callie right here. I'm going to read your tarot.
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, right? Is that some fool is going to tell you that you have to ask for the sale. You got to close all these people. Like you've got to like find customers. You got to make sure that they are the person that should be buying from you. You got to follow up 80,000 times. And if they didn't like what you had to say, they weren't a customer anyway, so it's fine. You hear that kind of talk a lot around sales. And I'm going to tell you that is one approach that you can take. But it is kind of like the polar opposite of what we're talking about. Because if you approach this as, here's how I can serve these people, this is how I can build a relationship, your first goal is for somebody to understand in the context of their life how you can be helpful to them. The second goal in this conversation is always, and this is how I do pitches for really large projects, this is how I've taught startups to get lots of funding, is that our goal is always to take the relationship to another level. You think this is how dating works, right? It's always, okay, how do I move this to this next stage? So if I met you at a networking event, if I sell insurance, I'm probably a pretty crappy salesperson. I mean, let's just be honest. We have friends that sell insurance, but like, even who is listening knows exactly what I'm talking about. 99% of people that sell products like that aren't very good. So like, they're going to say like, I sell insurance, you want insurance. Like, hey, you know what you could do for, if you die, like your family would be taken care of, or how would you like your kids to go to college? I'm like, I watched this because I used to run large networking events, and I watched these people just crater their little race car into the wall over and over again. And they think that it's because they had to become better at sales. They needed to know the magic words. They had to have the magic beans in their pocket or whatever it was. And in reality, if they're trying to sell safety, security, belonging, responsibility, and all those pieces, they spent zero time building a relationship where they can pour those emotions and that confidence and that assurance into that conversation. So like, all they really should be doing is figuring out how they can then help that person. And then maybe they'll have a phone call. Maybe they'll have another phone call. How can they be a resource? How can they work through something? How can they follow up and just say, let me connect you with a friend of mine. Oh yeah, you're looking for funding for your business? Let me connect you with Jonathan. I sell insurance, and like, we can explain that later, but I want to solve this problem because I just talked to you and I actually asked you questions because I care about the situation that you're in. I'm going to build a relationship based on the problems that you have. If I don't solve those problems, I'm going to connect you with somebody in my network. I'm going to follow up with you after that, make sure it went well. I'm going to follow up with you after that. And you're going to be like, damn, I think Callie sells insurance. Like, that is going to be my insurance guy. And that's how you build relationships with people. And that's how you turn normal people into your little sales army.
Yep.
And you do it by being a human being instead of a son of a bitch. I mean, that's what it is.
Yep. Someone that I think is a pretty intelligent guy told me this strategy, and I've implemented it. And if you're part of a group or a mastermind, reach out and try to schedule one call a week with somebody. And it's no sales, just how you can help them and how you can get to know them. I don't know who told me that, Callie. I forget. I have no idea. And I'll tell you, it really works because you're developing that relationship and you're not worried about the sale. You're worried about, hey, how can I help somebody? Right? In today's day and age, think about it. You see 4,000 ads a day. All right. What makes you different? Okay. You could be that guy that's going to go and have 100 pitches a day. And yeah, sure, you're going to get 1, 2, or 3 people. But when you're building relationships, this is a long-term strategy. It's a very long-term strategy. So take your time, add as much value as you can, and really get to know that person and build that relationship because the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yeah. Well, you do it for 6 months, like long term becomes right now. So it's about how long is your pipeline, right? I've been doing that same behavior for years. So for me, it's not long term. It's every day now. And this is the problem: is people are looking for some kind of cheap fix, some kind of automation, some kind of this is the conversations I have with business owners every week. What's the LinkedIn automation like? What should I have in my text that's going to make people want to have a conversation with me? What should I DM people on Facebook? Like, what's a way that I can automate my Facebook ads? What's the email sequence that's going to unlock additional sales? Like, what they're looking for a trick. I'm like, have you tried talking to people? Like at first, at least, like you just talk to normal people, figure out what people want, and then we can talk about scaling that. They're like scaling misery in their life without trying to actually. Everybody's trying to cheat. Is what I'm saying. And because they think, oh, that'll take 3 months or 6 months to start panning out, and then I talk to them 3 months or 6 months later. How far along do you think they are in those like automated, like fancy strategies? 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of in doing things intentionally, even if it's just 1 or 2 little actions a day, especially when it comes towards building these relationships, will go a really long way. Because what will happen is if you are consistent and intentional and doing a little bit every single day, over time, that's going to have a compounding effect. Over time, you're going to be that guy that you are the go-to, right? It doesn't happen overnight. And it certainly doesn't happen if you're trying to close somebody or you're trying to, not build that relationship, go straight to the sale right away. All right. So little, small, intentional things every single day compound into a much larger end result. And when you're dealing in good times, yeah, this is still very, very, very effective, very efficient. But in bad times, this could be the difference between your company making it or you having the options that you want or you get into that, the few investment deals that will be really good in the future or not. Okay. That's how important I think this stuff is. Guys, I can tell you this. I enjoy doing it. I really like this format that Callie and I are going to be doing. This will be a podcast. It is a podcast, but we will start live streaming it every Thursday, probably about 6 o'clock. Callie, do you have anything that you want to close with?
No. I'm gonna get you a full audio record.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, hey, you've tuned in to Winning Nation Live. All right. I truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you got value out of this, and I know you did, please subscribe to the podcast. It'll be in the comments below and share it with someone that you think it'll really help. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week, 6 o'clock on Thursday. Take care, everybody.